Yes, gentleman in the white coat. Well, no, he's got a microphone behind you. He'll hand it to you.
Where does a conservative group such as the Locke Foundation come? You know, I want you to hear. I hear what you say and I believe what you say. When you ask, is this is out very far outside Main Street.
The law is?
No. For people to
Understand and actually act on it.
right.
Yes,
to
I understand
be
that.
acted on.
Right,
Okay?
I understand.
So, you know, you get somebody that the Locke Foundation, for example, which, you know, goes back to the founding of the Constitution, which should be rooted in those principles, which should, and I don't know if they are, but in my mind, they should be open to what you have to say.
Get me in touch with them.
Oh, so you've never? Okay.
I'm in my own little world where we've got several dozen of us, 50 or so of us doing this. Been doing it for 12 years. You know, there's a danger in getting a case to the Supreme Court too quickly. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll get a precedent set against you to where you can never bring it up again. So we're not running this thing like a madman trying to get something to happen. We're trying to go slow and methodical and not get ahead of ourselves. Do we need help? Absolutely we need help. Do we need more people? Do I need contacts? I am not a type A, okay? I'm not a go-getter. I don't have that in me to make those calls. I didn't make the call to get me here. I was introduced to Dave a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, by someone else who knew him. It's not in my character to call him up and say, hey Dave, I got the solution to America's problems. I'd like to come talk to you. Who would accept that? But I do great with intermediaries. People who will introduce me to them and say, hey, and kind of, you know, set the platform for me. So I need that stuff. Yes, sir.
How much would it help if we got the laws changed for political speech to be able to be done in churches? So that
For a United States citizen, for a nationalized citizen who wants to change his laws so he can get that, I mean, if they want to do that.
I mean, because
I say get a state citizen where you actually have that right. And you don't have to ask for it. And you don't have to pass legislation. So you got to remember, we're in two different venues here. And we got to get our head out of this venue. Is our remedy's in here somehow. If I get some laws changed, no. The remedies get out of that venue. Get into a lawfully recognized venue that they have to commit treason to say doesn't exist. Article 3, Section 3 of the Constitution says treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them, the several states. If we can become the body of the state of North Carolina and they want to crush us, they're committing treason. The reason we don't have lawful government, I'm going to say it again, is because we won't participate in it. For one of two reasons. We don't know. So you can't fix something you don't know. Like I said that, this is the third time I've said this in this talk. You can't fix something if you don't know what the problem is. And I forgot what the second reason was. It's been a long day.
The first one will do.
So in other words, the state citizen doesn't have to have permission, but if you're a national citizen, that's when you have to go and
You're created, a national citizen is created by Washington. And so who can he not violate?
Right.
See, the state citizens created the federal government. The federal government created the federal citizens. And see, and we're federal citizens. We're the bottom man on the pole wanting the top slot on the pole. And we don't understand why we're not already there. And that's why I'm saying is we keep looking to July 4th, where we're on the top, when you got to look to March 2nd, where you're on the bottom.
Right. So they want you to be a national citizen, so you have so you have to beg and
They want you that when they say, "Are you a United States citizen?" you will stand up proudly and say, "Yes, I am." And I'm saying, when they say, "Are you a United States citizen?" you say, "I'm a citizen of North Carolina."
Right. Mm-hmm.
that also dilutes when the citizenship is nationalized. Does that also in effect dilute because the numbers are greater that also dilutes your power, our power.
Okay, what happens when an act is declared unconstitutional? It's void. So are there United States citizens anymore? No. So we go back, we revert immediately back. If you want quick remedy,
Get rid of 14.
get rid of the 14th, or you can wait 4 more years. And then after that, 4 more years. And after that, 4 more years. And after that, 4 more. Oh, and you could probably get involved in some political action committees and wait 4 more years. Or, now again, I don't want to dampen people putting the pressure on the present government.
No.
Don't stop that. You know, don't get out of these things of holding these people's feet to the fire. You know, so I'm not trying to just stop this movement. Don't get that. Remember I said we want to move this in parallel. Stay there. Stay fighting. Stay putting the pressure on these people. But start asking them different questions.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, John, one thing I see here, if people can wrap their heads around it, they come out of a voting booth, they get a I voted, they feel like they've done something great. Well, they voted as a 14th Amendment citizen, a national citizen. If we were to write to, I'm not one of those national citizens myself, unfortunately. But if we were to write to those representatives in Congress, they represent the federal citizen. We don't want to be these federal citizens. We don't have any power. They're just, we got to understand that our representatives are just addressing national citizens. They're not addressing the state citizens like you are.
Because the state citizens don't know they don't exist.
Right, right.
Exactly.
I didn't know either.
John,
Yes, sir.
there is a legal way for us to become state citizens. Would you please share that with the crowd?
Well, your state citizenship is what? It's a birthright.
You got it anyway.
You're born one. But our legal system operates off of you declaring who you are. If you fill out documents and say, under penalty of perjury, I'm a United States citizen, the law is going to say, well, you're signing as you're over 21, over 18 nowadays. You're an adult of sound mind, free accord. You're saying you're a federal citizen. And so they're going to grab your voter registration. They're going to grab your Social Security card, everything that you ever signed said, I'm a U.S. citizen. Bank cards, whatever. Well, I don't know where it says. How many people knew that on a voter registration application in North Carolina, you had to sign under Class 1 penalty of a Class 1 felony, 5 years in prison, or a fine, that if you sign that document to be false, you're subject to that. And you've got to swear you're a U.S. citizen. That's why North Carolina citizens are not allowed to vote. That government is for United States citizens. Look at a voter registration application. So when you vote, you're saying, that government represents me. I say, that government doesn't represent me. That's why I don't vote in it. I don't participate in it. I won't run for office in it. It's not my government. Think of this. Nazi Germany took over France, kicked out the free French people. Okay? What changed was the people. The people didn't change. What changed was their allegiance. The only people that could participate in government in France during that time were people that had an allegiance to Berlin. Not an allegiance to local self-government. Well, Washington come in here and said, we have to have an allegiance to Washington. Not to local self-government. They are our conquerors. Just like the Nazis when they went into France. They are our conquerors. Title has changed. They own us. If we want to participate in the government the military is going to allow, we have to do what they say. Is that government of consent? Is that free government? And aren't we seeing today the results of it? We're not free. And we can't get out of it. And we don't know how. And I'm saying this is an answer. And let's wrap it up.
Thank you, John. All right, we're done for tonight. Let me ask you one thing. Does anybody else have if you have another question, raise your hand. You won't get it. That's it? Nobody else has any other questions? Okay.
Well, don't you have to have a constitutional convention? That was exactly...
No.
Don't want a con.
My point, no, hold on.
What does this have to do with taxes, deficits, and spending?